All right, welcome back, everyone. You're listening to the Agrion Cafe, where we talk about real issues with real people in real time. I'm Vere, coach in Agrion Academy, and today I'm joined by the very wonderful and special Sumayyah. And in today's episode, we'll be discussing a very important, kind of serious topic that I feel really is impacting us on a daily basis, but yet we hardly talk about, and that is the modern waste culture. Now, before we dive in, I'd like to give you a brief explanation about Agrion Academy and how you can reach out to us. AGRION Academy is an educational platform for the next generation of humans. It is the first of its kind. Our goal is to return to the very roots of education by creating an environment and space for people to discover their true potential through a process where they are parented, profiled, positioned, and finally powered to be all that they were meant to be. We do this through workshops, videos, podcasts like this one, private sessions at your own convenience, and weekly group sessions for students to share their ideas, thoughts, and talents with people from all around the world. You can find out more about us at agrionacademy.com. So, coming back, like I was saying earlier, we are joined by Sumayyah. So, Sumayyah, could you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi everyone. As you know, my name is Sumayyah, and I am a 20-year-old university student. I am currently majoring in nursing, and I know today's topic is not really about like medicine or anything like that, but I have an interest and sort of passion in like waste culture and how it affects the world and my world in particular, and what I can do to kind of better myself as a person for the environment.
That's cool. How long have you been feeling this way about the environment and about nature and stuff like that?
I don't think it was too long, maybe like for the last 2 years or so.
See, is there anything in particular that kind of woke you up to this reality or something like that?
I don't know how valid, I guess it's valid for me. I think it was honestly seeing like a turtle. Like I'm pretty sure everyone's seen it at this point, but
Uh-huh.
there was that plastic straw, like stuck in a turtle's nose, and that broke my heart. And
Mm.
I think something for me was because like I love straws. Like something I always loved was like chewing on my straw, and just like I always had a straw, basically a plastic straw, and I never thought of that impact until I saw that, and I was like, wait a minute, like I didn't mean to do that, homie. Like I'm sorry. So it was kind of then since then.
Well, I think that it's very noble of you to be so interested in the environment and what we as human beings are doing to our own planet. And
Mm.
I'm glad that we're talking about this because I mean, I personally feel that today in our culture, we tend to try to ignore this issue. And I feel that not it's kind of ironic because there's a lot of noise being made about this right now. But yet at the same time, I feel or I notice that there's not a lot of movement on a larger scale that is being done to really help to fix our problems. And
Right.
I can't really speak for America, which you are in. Which state are you in again?
California.
California. So maybe you could share with us a bit what is the attitude towards this issue in California?
I think luckily I'm in a state that's pretty open minded about like wanting to change things for the better. But I feel like the problem is that we are eager to change, but like when we go back home and we think like, oh, let me just use a plastic plate instead of a plate that I have in the cabinet that I can just wash and put back.
Mhm.
Let me use a plastic plate. I could just throw it out afterward. I don't have to wash my plate. It's not my problem anymore once it goes into the trash can. So we're kind of like battling. Wait, I want to save the planet. Like there's a lot of trash around here, but will I like risk the simplicity of my life for that?
Yeah, that means it's like we're not really willing to sacrifice our
Mhm.
convenience or a so-called greater good that
Yeah,
seems kind of abstract, you know?
very.
Like, okay, it's just one straw, you know?
Yeah,
At least that's what I feel when I go out and like when I go to shops here in Malaysia, order drinks, I'd say like 99 out of 100 times they're gonna give us a plastic straw.
yeah,
And it's it's just something we're so used to and we just don't realize or want to think about what happens to our trash after it leaves our presence.
right. I think that goes back to like kind of how we were raised. I don't think many of us were raised, at least in this generation,
Mhm.
to like think about that. Like it was handed to us like that. We were brought up with, okay, there's a straw in my cup. There's
Yeah.
a plastic lid on top of my plastic cup. I need the lid, the straw. I need the cup holder, and where's my plastic utensils? Because I don't want to use silverware because someone else's lips touched that. So, like,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. I think personally, I mean, in Singapore and Malaysia, like something that never crosses our mind is separating food waste for composting.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I lived in Singapore for most of my childhood, and then I visited Australia one day, visit my mom's friend.
Mm.
And then when I got there and okay, we had dinner with them and stuff, and I was helping to clear up, and I just threw all the trash in one place, and they were like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" Then I was
Yeah.
like, "What do you mean? What am I doing? I'm helping." They're like, "No, you need to separate the fresh food there for composting, if the
Right.
plastic trash goes there, and then
Mhm,
all the
mhm.
stuff that is for the landfill goes there." It's like, "Oh, wow,
That's amazing, actually. See,
yeah."
I've never actually experienced that either.
Exactly.
And
So yeah,
yeah,
so I was kind of mind blown for a few minutes while I gathered my thoughts. And but you see, they're raised that way. They think this way,
mhm,
and I think that's great. But here, I can say in Malaysia, I mean, I love Malaysia and I love the people here and everything. But there's a huge problem with littering.
mhm.
Like really, I just need to walk 50 meters and I'll be able to
Right.
spot trash everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
And no one cares.
That
So, yeah.
like alarms me. It's like, firstly, I've always had this in me since I was a kid. And I think this also like is what inspired me to be more aware of it, is when, I was picking up my trash after myself and, like putting it into like the garbage bin.
Mhm.
And then I would see somebody else just leave their trash there and they'd be like, no, no, it's okay. Like a janitor will do it. And I think that's like step one of like, wait a minute, like you just made that trash. That's not someone else's problem. That's your problem. And we're lucky enough to have janitors, to like, pick up all types of things that I'm sure, you know, we're just so used to like, no, it's okay. Someone else will do it.
Yeah,
Well,
it's true.
no,
I mean,
it,
and you know, the janitors and the garbage people do pick it up, and we don't even give them credit for it.
no, we don't. And we talk down on their
Yeah.
kinds and
Can
think,
you
oh, they're,
imagine
yeah.
if all of them went on strike for a month or 2 months?
Oh my God, we would be
What
in
would we
chaos.
do? Oh my word. So I think you're definitely right. It's something to do with what we're taught, how we think about these issues.
Mhm.
And I would say the government also has a big part to play in this.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
can
yeah.
say for Singapore, it might not be ideal, but there's a huge monetary fine if you get caught littering.
Oh,
I
there's
think it's,
there's that here too as well.
yeah, but there's hardly that here in Malaysia. And basically,
Mhm.
if you get caught littering in Singapore, I think it's like straight up 500 or 1,000 bucks.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So and 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 we developed this sort of culture where we kind of take a bit of pride in our land. So we kind of
Mhm.
like to see it clean, and the government puts in the effort to have enough of the environmental staff to
Right.
get out there and then make sure everything's in order. And we even have a place where we burn all the trash until it's
I've heard about this. This
completely,
impressed me
yeah,
so much.
it's
Wow.
completely burned, completely carbonized, all the trash, whatever it is, and then they like make sure that it's a neutral, a stable sort of waste. That
Mhm.
means there's no chemicals inside that can leak into the soil or into the
Right.
ocean. And we're literally building an island out of trash.
I love that so much. I heard that even because, when you destroy trash, it causes a lot of pollution on its own. And
Yes.
I heard that you guys have like encapsulated that, like those chemicals that
Yeah,
emit from that, and you even
exactly.
turn that into clean air. And
Supposedly, I mean, I don't
that
know
is
how they do it.
amazing.
I don't know how they do it, but this is what they've reported that they are cleaning the emission. That means, when you burn stuff and there's smoke, right?
Hmm.
So all the smoke, whatever is being emitted, they are actually capturing it and making sure that they filter that before the air goes out into the atmosphere.
I'm not sure why we don't have that everywhere,
That's the
actually.
thing. That's the thing right now is we have the technology, we have the capacity to clean this whole planet if we really wanted to. At least this is what I think. But we don't. So why?
Oh my God. I feel like there's a number of reasons for that. I feel like one, the the people who are capable of doing it, let's say whoever made this whole system in Singapore,
Mm-hmm.
maybe maybe they don't have the fundings to inspire other countries or build their own like, technology there. Or maybe it's like the people in charge want that waste to be there because honestly, most of the waste is just like money making businesses, like
Mm-hmm.
something I learned in school, like in economics classes, were like, how people use marketing to make people believe that they need to buy something that they don't truly need, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a big part of like our economy. Like, how do I make my business, like, how do I make it thrive? Well, let me make people believe they need my product. And my
Mm-hmm.
product is something that's going to tarnish this planet, but that's not really what I care for. I want the money that's coming from this because it's, plastic is cheap to labor, it's easy
Yeah,
to
to
obtain,
produce.
and it like it's the only way for some people. They would prefer to just use plastic rather than like maybe paper that maybe paper gets soaked in the rain when it's shipped somewhere and it's not as durable or something, which is understandable. But at what risk do you want to like would you rather destroy the planet adding more plastic to it, or would you just let your like product tarnish a bit in hopes that like it at least would make a better impact?
Mhm. Yeah, you're right. And so I guess it kind of comes down to a global culture that we develop, this sort of consumer culture, where people just want more and more things and they want it
Right.
now.
Yeah.
They want
Yep.
everything now. They want it now. They want more and they want it cheap.
Yeah, definitely cheap.
And that is just not sustainable at all.
I'm actually ashamed of myself because I grew up in this culture, but I also like I still keep to certain things. I remember recently I went to the store and I saw like, oh, this toothbrush is made out of wood, and like it's like biodegradable, and I was like, okay, awesome, like nice. So I bought that toothbrush, right? But like
Mm-hmm.
I still had a plastic toothbrush at home, so I was gonna use that one up until it was like completely dead before I opened up my like decomposable one. And while I was still using my plastic one and when it was ready to be changed out, I was looking for my my
The wooden one.
biodegradable one and I
Uh,
lost it. And I'm like, what
oh
happened to it? Oh no. And I was like, I need a toothbrush. Oh my God. And like I didn't want to wait like a few days just to like,
Search for
you
it.
know, to wait. Like I could, because I could order another one easily online, but I didn't want to wait for it. So
Right.
I know like my mom always has like a stack of just toothbrushes like at the ready in case someone comes over, in case I need to change out mine. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I have no choice, but I kind of did. I could have waited, but I allowed myself to just, like indulge in this like the easy access of
Right,
those
right.
plastic toothbrushes, and I just took it and I used it. So
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
about that.
I hear you. I hear you. I mean, I just want to put a disclaimer for whoever's listening. Just because we're talking about this doesn't make us saints. I know that for myself, I myself do a lot of environmentally friendly practices, and I will readily admit that. But I think that's the point of us talking about it is that we have to acknowledge where we are right now
Yeah,
before we can fix ourselves.
yeah,
So I'm ready to acknowledge right now that I could be doing a lot more for this planet that I am right now, and I would really like to improve myself in this way
right.
because, like we were discussing this earlier that this planet, we are here, but we're really borrowing it from our children.
Mm,
And
yeah,
if we're gonna sit here and just say, oh, this is someone else's problem, one day that problem for someone else is going to be too big for them, and it's our fault.
it is our fault.
Yeah, it's totally our fault. And and now with the pandemic and the disposable masks, it's getting worse.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so i think that I think that as an educational platform, especially in Agrion, we
Right.
owe it to the next generation to educate each other and the next
Definitely.
generation about what is going on in actuality.
I
Like
feel like, yeah.
the what we talking about just now, that the great but the Pacific, is
Oh,
it? What was it
yeah.
again?
How the Great Pacific. I need to look this up.
I think it's like Great
I keep
Pacific
forgetting the name.
Garbage Patch or something like that.
Yeah, garbage patch. Yeah,
Yeah.
the,
And how big was it again?
the size of two Texases.
2 Texases of trash
Yeah.
sitting in the ocean, swirling around, killing all the fish.
Oh my God. They said in 10 years there will
Uh-huh.
be more plastic in the ocean than fish itself.
There you go.
And and that's not even just the problem. Like there's other problems of like that causing global warming and pollution and you know where are we going to put all this trash? Most of it is not capable of being recyclable.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not sure about you, Maya, but personally, when I look at this issue, I just feel so hopeless. I feel like, wow, this is a global issue, If we're gonna fix
Mm,
this, the governments of the world are gonna have to come together and literally turn the system
yeah,
upside down. And I feel so powerless when I think about that, I'm just a kid here
Uh,
in
trust
Malaysia.
me, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, and I
Yep.
just feel so just like what can I do about this Texas-sized trash heap in the
It feels like
ocean?
we can't really solve it. I feel like it's like just something we have to accept. And maybe we're numb to it, and that's why no one does
Yeah,
anything about it.
exactly. I think this is the real problem, if you ask me,
Yeah.
because it's not about the stuff. The stuff is made by who? People, right?
Hmm.
And it's made by people because of the way we think.
Right.
So more than just, not doing something or doing something, there needs to be some sort of global cultural reform taking place.
Mm.
And I think that would be the ultimate challenge, not developing the technologies and getting people to get outside and pick up the trash. The hardest part is changing people's minds.
How do you think that you could, like change the next generation? Like maybe do you think that you would raise your kids with more of an understanding of like, we have to use these kind of materials so that like we're not causing waste, like be mindful of every little thing that you do, because there's going to be a ripple effect of that.
Yeah. I mean, I come from the perspective, from the angle of an educator, because that's what I am.
Right.
So personally, I will focus on really drilling these facts into my students and to my
Right.
kids if I have kids.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, how do you say this? In my experience, it's pretty hard to change the minds of adults, right?
Mm.
And the older you get, generally, the more set in stone your beliefs tend to be. This is not true of everyone, but I'm making a general statement.
Right.
So for me, rather than focusing on fighting something that's already been solidified, I'd rather try my best to develop and nurture the young children who still have so many questions about the world, who are still so enthusiastic.
Right.
Who, you tell them, wow, look at this fish, They don't say,
Yeah.
are we having it for lunch? To be like, wow, a fish, Is this childlike appreciation for the planet
Yeah.
that I
Right.
think we need to keep and
Mm.
maintain in our students, that they love this planet, they love nature, and they love what's around them and each other, so
Right.
much so that they don't want to mess it up. I
That
mean,
kind of hit me when you said you need to make people love each other. It you kind of really do, because I feel like a lot of this pollution is caused by selfishness. And
yeah,
if we
exactly.
instill that love, like there shouldn't be any issues, because people they will be more mindful, knowing like, no, the repercussions of what I do today are going to affect, the people that I love around me. And
Precisely. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I totally agree. So, so personally, I will focus on education. Like, I would
mm,
get all these pictures, like just now we were looking at the great Pacific
right,
garbage patch, and just show the people, like, hey, this is bad. This is
yeah,
serious. It's getting out of hand. You can only look away and close your eyes for so long.
right.
Like it's coming over the horizon.
Mm,
It's crazy. Like personally, as a scuba diver, when I see all the trash around, it just breaks my heart.
yeah,
Yeah. So
I
I'd
can't
say that
imagine it.
that actually it people like you, your hands, mine, you're the students. You are the next generation. We are the next generation.
Yeah.
We've got to do something about this for our sake and for our children's sake. If not, we're really gonna be in big trouble.
We we're already on the way to big trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are.
I hope we can change our ways. I definitely have to start with myself, and I
Mm-hmm.
definitely want to educate others on the matter.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how to like to actually help in getting my hands dirty and saying like, okay, how do we tackle these two big Texas state size like trash islands? Like
Yeah.
how do I tackle that? I'm not sure. But when I
Mm-hmm.
go home at the end of the day, I think, okay, I'm not going to grab for that straw anymore. If anything, I'll buy a metal straw and I'll wash it if I have to, because I'm not used to washing a straw. I'm used to throwing it away. But no, I'm going to make the straw my issue.
Maybe
I'm going to
just
make,
don't be so, just
right?
drink from the cup.
Yeah, just
Just
drink from a
do
cup.
away with straws.
You know how milkshakes are. Come on, you gotta like slurp it, otherwise it'll like fall on your face. And
Fine.
straws are nice, okay, but you gotta go to the metal ones.
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct.
It's
Yeah.
kind of nice though. I know there's a lot of bad going on with like the pollution, global warming, these islands of trash. But
Mm-hmm.
on the other hand, there's a lot of things that I see that also impress me. I feel like there's a balance in the world, and there's definitely room for improvement. But I've seen like stuff like, okay, like shampoo that is like in a bar of soap. So rather than buying a big like, shampoo like bottle, I can get it in a bar and forget like that plastic waste that I'll have after that shampoo's done.
Mhm.
I won't do that anymore. And then there's like, when you wash your clothes, there's like these little washable sheets that disintegrate into your clothing. So it's not like I have to take detergent out of, again, another plastic tub and
Mhm.
like have like this unrecyclable like piece that'll just add to that island. So I see a lot of like inventions recently that tackle like, okay, what alternatives we have that we could be using. But like you said, like, it's more cheap to produce it with plastic or something, but there are people attempting to make these more sustainable like
Yep.
products, and I really admire that, and I feel like people should look into that and gravitate toward that. And like right now it's expensive, but if
Mhm.
they were more like, if they were more in shops, and if they were easily accessible and they became the top brands rather than these brands that have been owning the shops for like decades now, if those came out into the open, I think they would start becoming cheaper and more accessible for everybody. So I feel
Yep.
like maybe we can start focusing on that a little bit more.
That's true. That's true. I think I think what we can do as individuals is just start to develop this culture that we're talking about, this right kind of culture
Mhm.
wherever we are, you know,
Yeah.
in our homes, with our friends, whatever we can do, at least we try to to create a counter culture to the current wasteful culture, you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I think not only this is something we can do in our families, but I personally I believe that governments also need to kind of start making proper laws and policies and
Mhm.
enforcing them to help this along, because it's really a cultural issue, right?
It
As we
is.
discussed, it's more of people's mindset than actually the plastic that's being made.
Yeah.
So I think that if we can start with building our own culture, slowly influencing our friends and our communities, I think we'll be able to move
Mhm.
forward that way. Because it can be done. I mean, you look at Singapore with okay, Singapore sometimes it's kind of like a bit forced, but okay, we just overlook that for now. But like Japan, how
Right.
they develop this culture in the children when they're young, that they teach them to clean up the school and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So if we can start to apply this in our families and our communities, I think we can make it.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think we can do that.
that's great. So that's all the time we have for today. Would you like to say anything else before we wrap up?
Mm, I really enjoyed our talk today.
Yeah, so
I
did
think we
I.
learned a lot. I feel
Hmm.
like we bounced a lot of ideas off each other even before we started the
Yeah,
podcast. I feel like I'm glad that I chose this topic in the end
yeah,
because
this is a great topic. Thanks so
it
much for
was.
sharing with us. I really appreciate you taking the time
Thank
to
you.
spend
Thank
with
you.
me. And I hope we can have you back on this podcast to talk about other things next time too.
I would love to. And thank you for having me.
Pleasure. All right, so to all our listeners, if you have any thoughts that you'd like to share, if you have any counter views or anything you disagree with or agree with, please feel free to jot it down in the comments and drop us an email or anything like that. We'd love to hear from you. And until then, I've been Vere, and this is the Agrion Cafeteria. And we'll see you all again next time. Bye.